What's up guys, Brennan here, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a Christmas song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do new videos every single week. And if you guys want to learn any other Christmas songs, definitely drop those in the comments below. Alright, let's get started. So before we get into the video, I'm actually going to play the arrangement that we're going to learn in today's video. Okay, so we're going to start with learning the left hand for the first section. So you're going to be playing a couple different chords. So that's a group of notes played at the same time. Okay, so the first one is going to be C, pinky on C, middle finger on E, and thumb on G. Then you keep this formation and you jump down to A. So pinky on A, middle finger on C, and thumb on E. Then you move up here to D, same shape, pinky on D, middle finger on F, thumb on A. And then last one here, you jump all the way down to G, middle finger on B, and thumb on D. So that's C, A, up to D, down to G. Try that with me. Okay, now we're going to learn the first part of the right hand. So I'm going to play through it once. Okay, so that's C, E, G, then you pause, and then you go up to C with your pinky, and then you do a little walk down. So you go G, F, E, D, C, D. So let's put all that together. C, E, G, pause, up to C, G, F, E, cross over to D, D, C, D. So try that from the walk down. One more time. So now let's try the whole phrase together. C, E, G, C, G, F, E, D, C, D. A good tip is to listen to the singing of the song and play it in the same rhythm, but I'll just play it through on its own. Okay, now we're going to learn the second little phrase. So I'm going to play through it. So that's C, E, G. Do a little pause. Then you go C, G. Try that with me. Okay, so now let's try this whole right hand together. Then we're going to put both hands in this section together. So now the timing on this is a little tricky, so just bear with me here. So we're going to put both hands together, and you start off by playing the left hand at the exact same time as the right hand. So you come in together, so it's like this. Okay, so that's C together, E on its own, then you move down to A. Try that with me. Then you go. So you're playing C on its own, and then when you hit G in the right hand, you play the next chord in the left hand. So it's like this. Watch me do it nice and slow. Okay? Now we're going to move on to the next part. Okay, so try that with me. One more time. So I'm going to say move, and that just means that you move in the left hand just to help you follow along here. So here we go. First one, move, move, move. Now, this goes back to the first one. But notice how you're not playing this at the same time. So it goes like this onto the next section. So the timing on that one more time is. So it's the same 4 chords. You're just changing the timing on the second round. Okay, so let's go over this second section one more time, then we'll put both together. Okay, I'm going to play it at full speed so you can follow along here. This part changes, so we're going to learn the different left hand. So it's that's all the same. So then you go to B, then you go to E, then you go down to A, and then you play D and F at the same time, and then you go down to G. So that's a little tricky because you're kind of moving a lot in the left hand. So let me just go over that again. So the first 3 are the same. First one, second one, third one, then you go to B, the right hand. So I'm going to play the section before we learn it. Okay, so this is a little tricky section. There's a little jazzy part. So we're going to just start here with your thumb on E. So you go E, move up to G with your pointer finger, then C with your third finger. Then you jump all the way up here to E with your pinky, and then you do a little walk down. So you're going to go all down these white keys here, starting from E. So when I go into the A, I play that with my thumb, and I usually cross over because then I'm going to have to play more down here. So what that does is you cross your finger over, and then your pointer finger and your thumb have room to come down here. So I'm going to play through this again. E, G, C. So it's quite a jump here. Then you go E, walk down, cross over G, F, E. So just watch me do that without talking. Okay, then we do the little jazzy part, which is so you're going to start with your pinky on C, and you're going to go C, B, B flat, down to A. So it's these four. C, B, B flat, A. Then you do a little pause, and then you go B flat, A, G sharp, G. So you're just walking down the keys again, starting from C. C, B, B flat, A, pause, B flat, A, G sharp, G. So just watch me do that part on its own. So when you go into this one, you kind of pause a little bit too. So watch me do it here. That might take a little bit of practice, so feel free to pause and practice that over and over. We're going to go ahead and put this whole next section together, starting from your thumb on E, skip to C, okay, one thing to keep in mind is if you practice both hands on their own and get that really down each hand, it is easier to put them both together because then you kind of have no attention stuck on one hand. You kind of get to have both down pretty well. Then it's easier to put together. We're going to go ahead and put this next section together. So starting with the first chord, which is C, and you're going to come in on E at the same time. It's going to be like this. So that's E, G, C. Then you go. Very tricky, so we're going to go over that a few times, okay? So starting together with your first chord and this on E. Then when you move to C, you need to jump down here to the A in the left hand. Then you go E, and right when you go to do the D is when you move to D in the left hand. So it's like this. B, The best way to learn this is to just watch this video and practice that part nice and slow, and you kind of just memorize it. So we're going to go over it again. One more time. Okay, so now I'm going to say move so that you know when to change in the left hand, just to help on the timing. So here we go. Last time going over this section. Okay, so starting with this one first. Move, 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 move. So again, that's really tricky. If you have any questions, definitely let me know in the comments below and I'll try to help. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the next part here. So good news, the next part is a repeat part that we already learned. So it's going to be the very first section again. So it's going to be like this. Remember we learned this? All the same. Now this is the part where it changes. So you're going to have your thumb on E again, and you're going to be playing the first chord. So you go like this. Move down to A. Then you go to D. Now this is the part where it changes. So we haven't played this chord yet. So the first three are the same as the normal ones we've been doing. C, A, D, but then you go to this one. So you go to E, G sharp, and B. So just practice going from C, same shape, remember, down to A, then up to D, then you move to E, G sharp, and B. Then after that, you do a little, which is kind of cool. So it's your pinky on A, pointer finger on E, thumb on A, then you cross over and play these two. B, C. So that's A, E, A, B, C. Try that. A, E, A, B, C. You're going to have to stretch a lot with your hands here. So it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. If your hands can't stretch that far, you can actually do this instead. So instead of doing the A down here, you just move your pinky up to C. Everything else is the same. So you're just moving your pinky up. Okay, so let's practice this little part in the left hand. So we have these three the same, then this, all the same. Then we change up to this one, then the walk up. So then lastly, just to finish off this section, you go G, C. So G, C. So all together, that left hand should be like this. First three the same. Then you move up to this one. Then down to A, walk up. G, C. Okay, now we're going to learn the right hand for this section. So I'm going to play through once. Okay, so that's E, G, skip up to C, then you go E, and then you do a little walk down, but it's a little different than the earlier walk down. So you go D, C, B, A, now you're playing a black key, G sharp, then you go back to B, C. let's go over that again. E, G, C, E, D, C, B, A, G sharp, B, C. So now I'll do it without me talking. Then the next little part is you then play F with your thumb and B flat with your middle finger, same time. Then you play E and G. So it's all together. So there's a little pause, then you go. Okay, let's put both hands together here. So starting with your thumb here ready on position with E and your left hand ready on the first chord. So when you're playing this black key, that's when you move to this one. Then when you go to C is when you start the walk up. So let's go over that again. Then you go. So remember that was G and C and these two and these two. So it's, try that. Let's go over that whole section again. I'm going to not talk this time. Okay, so now we get into a little tricky part of the song. So I'm going to play this next section here, then we're going to break down how to learn it. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the right hand. So it's, let's E 3 times. So that's D, C, B, C, D. So this 3 times. So it's D, C, B, C, D. Then you go. So that's, then you go. So this is the faithful friends who are dear to us. So all together it's, then you pause, then you go. Then this twice. Okay, so now the left hand, you're going to start with your middle finger on F. Then you play these two at the same time, F and G sharp. So try that. Then you do like a little walk down, and this is a little tricky to memorize. So then you go to E, D sharp, D, down to G. So try that. Together. E, D sharp, D, G. Then you go to, so that's going to have to stretch a little bit. It's pinky on C, pointer finger on G, and thumb stretch up to D. So try that whole section together. F, E, D sharp, D, G, C. So without me talking. right now, but when you put both hands together, you'll hear the little jazziness. So now we're going to put both hands together. So you're going to actually come in on the left hand first. It's going to be like this. So on the third E is when you play these two at the same time. So this first, 1, 2, 3. Little tricky, so I'm going to go over it again. The best way is to just watch my fingers and practice it along with me nice and slow. So here we go. This one first. So now I'm going to say move in the left hand while I'm playing together so you know when to move to the next key. So here we go. Move, 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 move. Okay, so let's go over it one more time, nice and slow. All right, so now we're going to learn the next part, which I'm just going to play it here. Okay, so this next part's a little tricky, so just bear with me here. In the left hand, you start on G, F sharp, then you go to D sharp, up to E, back to D sharp, down to D, G. I'm going to play that without me talking. Okay, then you go up to D and C, so you're playing D and C, so you go. And then you move to these two, G and B. So it's like this. So in the right hand, you're going to have your pinky here on C, and you're going to go. So that's C, A, C, then you go. So that's B, A, G, A, B. Then you go. So you're just playing these 5 notes starting from G. Then you go. So that's. Then you start on these 5. G, C. So now let's put both hands together. So you start on this one first. You're going to go. So that timing is a little weird. So it's G, F sharp. Then you come in on the right hand. So when you play C the second time, should be when you move to this. So let's try that again. Up to E, back down to G sharp, D, G. Okay, so I'm going to do it nice and slow. One more time. So now we're going to learn the next part, which is going to be a repeat of something that we've already learned. So then it goes. Recognize it? Now, this is the last little part where it changes. So it's okay, so we're going to learn this whole section here, and then you guys have the whole song. So this is the last section. So the left hand is going to be like this. First section, right? Same. Then you go here. Then you move up to here. And then you go. Same as we learned. Remember the little A walk up? So try that with me. We're going to start from the second section, the part that's different. So it's up to this one, then A. Then you go here to D, and you go pinky on D, pointing finger on A, thumb on D, and you cross over to F. So it's, and sometimes I go back and forth between these two, just for a little added effect. So it's, or you can just do the regular and hold it. And then, so now you're going to do what's called an arpeggio. So instead of playing a chord together, you actually break it up. An arpeggio means a broken chord. So instead of playing it together like this, you break it up. Okay? So it's the same three keys, G, B, and D. You're just playing them all up and down the piano. So it's going to start like this. Pinky on G, move to D, then thumb on G, cross over to B, then your pointer finger has room to go to D, then up to this G, and then at this point you go back down to D and back down to B. So it's going to take a little practice for sure, but all together it would sound like this. So try that. One thing to keep in mind is your fingering needs to be exact on this. So your pinky here, pointer finger here, thumb on G, cross over, third finger on B. That way it leaves your pointer finger to go to D, thumb to G, back down to D, and back down to B. Okay, so feel free to pause the video and practice that part, but you're almost done with the song. So then after you do that, now you have the final ending part. So you're going to do the same arpeggio, but instead of doing it with these three keys, you're going to do it with these three keys. So that's C, E, and G. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So start with your pinky down low on this C, pointer finger on G, thumb on C, cross your third finger over to E, pointer finger on G, thumb on C, cross over to E, pointer finger on G, thumb on C. So you're going all the way up and down the piano, just playing those three keys. So it's going to take a little bit of practice to find the C, E, G all over the piano. C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G. Okay? So feel free to pause that. And if you guys want a whole video on arpeggios, I could definitely do that. But the last one all together is going to sound like this. Okay? Let's carry on from this last section, the left hand. Then we're going to learn the right hand, and then you guys have the whole song. So here we go. So it's like this. Jump up to this one. Then do the A walk up. Then you go to, then down to G. Definitely probably the hardest part of the song, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments below. So now we're going to learn the right hand, then put both hands together. So it's going to be like this. So that's the first little part. So it's E, G, C. Then you go up to E, F, E, D, C, B. So that's a little walk down. So it's E, G, C, E, F, E, D, C, B. So try that without me talking. Then you go D, E. So try that. Okay, then the last part, I'm going to play it first and we'll learn it. And then you go. So we're going to get into that pattern, but we're going to start here. So this is a and have yourself a merry little Christmas night. So it's E, E, A, C. So try that. Then you go D, E, D, C, B, A, B, C. So again, without me talking. So all together, it's like this. Then you pause. Okay, so then at the very end, I do a little pattern here. So it's so I'm playing these two and then I'm alternating my pinky. So it's C, B, D, C. So try that. So I'm doing that, but just with my pinky, and then I add in between. So it's C, B, D, C. So see how these come in the middle? B, D, C. So all together. And then I repeat. Just know, comes in between. G, E, G. All right, we're gonna put both hands together. Here we go. Okay, so start with these at the same time. Let's do that part again. Okay, then it goes to D. So it's a little tricky. So it's E, and the second time you hit E is when you come in on the D part. So it's E together. So watch me do it again. So you're hitting A at the same time as D. So then you go so that's a little tricky. Then you go up to D, and when you go to E, you come in with the left hand on G. Okay, one more time. G, and then you play C at the same time as this. So what I do is I like to play the part we learned on the left hand and with both hands. So I go. Okay? And that's it, guys. You have the entire song. Very well done on learning this. This is not an easy arrangement. So if you got through this video and you're able to play this song, good job. If you have any questions, I can definitely help in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out a ton, and I appreciate every single one of my subscribers. I'm glad you guys like my videos and get something out of them. So yeah, if you have any other Christmas songs you want to learn, let me know, and I will try and do a tutorial for that one. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.